I'm Steve Rao, the host of Pod and Roku TV's World Edition. I greet you live from Morrisville, North Carolina, in the All-America city, right here in the 8th largest state in the United States of America, North Carolina. We welcome you to this show from all around the world or wherever you are in the United States, and we wish you well. And today, as we always do, we talk about global affairs, update you on the war in Ukraine, and continue our conversation of an increasingly turbulent and divisive world. Before I begin my monologue, I just wanted to go over a couple of things we're going to talk about today. I have to leave a little bit early, but 2 of the Americans kidnapped in Mexico were found dead yesterday. 2 other victims are alive, but although one is injured. They were in a village about 15 miles from where they were kidnapped, and they were there for a cosmetic medical procedure. There's been some caution about medical tourism and making sure that we're careful about where we go to get our healthcare procedures. New documents released yesterday in a lawsuit against Fox News, as Tucker Carlson has been alleged of talking about the conspiracy, and but then sort of in private conversations showing that he's actually hating Trump passionately, so very interesting allegations against Mr. Carlson. Oklahoma voted against legalizing recreational marijuana, and a pro-Ukraine group may have carried out an attack on a key gas pipeline. Explosions in September damaged the Nord Stream pipelines that carry Russian natural gas to Europe. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And finally, the monologue this morning is based on International Women's Day. On March 8th, 1908, women in the eastern sides of New York gathered together in protest to challenge unsafe working conditions, advocate for women's suffrage, and also advocated against sweatshop conditions in workplaces. In 1910, it became International Women's Day. And today, on International Women's Day, we want to thank all the trailblazing women out there in our lives and those around the world that are doing really, really great things. I would encourage you to go to Time Magazine 2023 Women of the Year, where you can read about these great women and all they're doing. And I got a list of a few of them we'll go over today. But the bottom line is this year's theme is equity and gender equality. As I've always said, there's a difference between equality and equity. Equality is having the same view, being treated equal, but one person in a baseball game, perhaps watching a game, having a higher view than the other. Equity is taking in the circumstances of individuals and looking at them at a level playing field. Equity isn't just about opportunities, it's about taking into account those resources. And so that's the theme of this year's conference, but of this year's day. But the bottom line is this. What I'm impressed with is just women out there that are doing great things. Whether it's, I want to first of all take a point of personal privilege and cite my mother-in-law, who was an immigrant from India, who went in to serve in the United States Air Force and retire alongside her late husband, my father-in-law. And they both were colonels in the U.S. Air Force. She's a hero to our family. To see her in uniform as a young son-in-law when I married their daughter and when I was dating their daughter was amazing to see her balance family, career, and serve the nation as a doctor in the United States Air Force. I think of all the women doing great things out there, balancing careers and families, like my own wife. I think it's wonderful. And today we're going to go over some of those trailblazers. We also want to remember today Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the late Supreme Court Justice, who spent most of her career fighting against sex discrimination based on gender. And she was a real pioneer. And you should see the movie RBG. It's a great movie. But we're going to have some conversations about women today, maybe highlighting women that we should know about, having our healthy debate about some of the issues I talked about today. And we're going to go ahead and get started. But happy International Women's Day to all women out there. Thank you for your remarkable contributions. And we look forward to having a wonderful show today and catch you up on some of these events around the world. Let's get started. Let's have Mark Lee on here.
We've also got Lee Newton Rhodes and Dan Worthington, so I'll bring them on. And who knows, Nick Palvado.
Good morning, y'all.
Just may be here.
Good morning.
As well, and we'll see what they've got to
Good morning.
say about what's going on and all in that space. I know a lot of women have definitely had an impact on my life, and actually I have had several women that have been heads of institutions that I have been part of. I was actually at the ATAC.
Good morning, Mark. Mark, can I ask a question? Where's this starting up? Just so we're on the same playing field, I think definitions are very important. I don't mean to be political. So we all understand what we're talking about when we're talking about women. We're talking about biological women, are we not?
Yeah. Women who are born women. Yeah.
Right.
So, just a couple that I'll go over. There are some interesting women doing interesting things in the world. One of them is, I don't know whether it's Muhammad Ali's daughter, but she's boxing for refugees. Phoebe Bridges is singing for the truth. Brazil's racial equity minister never planned to enter politics, and her sister was assassinated. And then there's a woman named Alina Shevchenko who's fighting for Ukraine's most vulnerable people. I know that Dan Worthington is here. He's a veteran. I just saw on the Today Show a Black woman, I think named Janet Days, who just took over as the commander in the Navy of Norfolk, which was the first time a woman has actually held that post. So, just a thought. I mean, it is International Women's Day. All of us are sons. We have, women in our lives.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. These days, giving birth is not necessarily just a woman's thing. But
for this show, it is though. For this show, I'm going to go on a limb and say, yeah, that's my litmus test.
I think we should absolutely celebrate women. I think we should celebrate men as well, but I think we should absolutely celebrate women, and we should celebrate their achievements. But I'm just a little bit curious. So, what does that mean? Did I hear you say one person's boxing for women? Is that what you said?
I read it I'm going to have to go back and read the Time magazine article, but I think Ali. I don't know whether that's Muhammad Ali's daughter. She's doing some boxing charity for refugees around the world.
So she's boxing for refugees.
Yeah,
and the other woman is singing for truth.
Singing for truth, and then you've got Megan.
What does singing for truth mean? What is that?
I can find out.
I'm not the one laughing, by the way. If there's any complaints, blame it on Dad. But what does singing for truth mean?
He doesn't know. He just read it.
No, I know, but that's right now. Let me get to you right now. I have to pull the article.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that when we often let some of these celebrities just say stuff, and everyone just kind of goes along, with it. And it's like, hang on a minute, what are you actually doing? So I think that we should, really focus in on those women who, and there's no shortage of them, who have really gone above and beyond and really done something that has helped, humanity, that has driven some kind of change. They've brought attention to something that the rest of us may not have thought about. Things like that. I think to me, that's the sort of stuff I want to celebrate. Somebody singing and then saying that they're singing for truth. I don't know. Maybe there's something really great and magnificent about it, but I don't know what that means.
So, Shaquille, you would celebrate a woman.
Nick, you're actually muted, thankfully.
A woman during the women's suffrage to bring up, women to vote.
They're singing for the truth that people don't listen to Fox News, which is really news. It's Fox Entertainment.
I think, yeah.
And Tucker Carlson, who's the worst, as we well know, defended in McDougal versus Fox that he's just entertainment. He's the World Wrestling Federation. And the World Wrestling Federation has changed to the World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, unfortunately, though, Fox has not changed to Fox Entertainment. But you notice he is not on Fox News. It's Tucker Carlson tonight. So he can say, well, we're just entertainment. So he consistently tells fabrications and people consistently believe in it.
I find it so fascinating.
I love it.
I find it. Nick, I find it.
Let's get back to Shaquille thing. And Shaquille, I agree with you.
No, it's entertainment. So please, Tucker Carlson.
Like every politician.
Let's get back to the issue at hand. I'll respond. Don't worry, Steve. I'll respond to his nonsensical drivel while he's away. But I'll leave it back to you.
Let's get back to the issue at hand. So, but on tomorrow's show, or I'll be gone tomorrow, Friday or Monday. I'll do a little more research on those names I mentioned and have a better, I was kind of a mad rush today. But let's get the conversation. I think that's perfectly fair. Let's just talk about women that we think have really been trailblazers. That really have, like Shaquille said, changed the world, not just celebrities. So who are some of those women? And, I'm going to start with you, Mark Lee, and just to kind of get your opinion of women out there that you think we should be talking about.
Well, there's a couple of women that we should be talking about. Actually, one of the women just came on the screen. I'm hoping that she'll be joining us very shortly and everything. And Shaquille, you'll be glad to know that she's actually from the Republican side of the field and is actually just coming back from CPAC. So I had the pleasure of interviewing Sarah.
Why would I be pleased? Welcome to the show, Sarah. Why would I be pleased? It's not my country.
You're Republican.
She's oftentimes teasing me about not giving various.
Morning, Dr. Sarah.
So that's what I was teasing about and all in that space. But like I said, we had a great interview last week, and Sarah is representing the fine state of California. She's actually running for political office there in California as well. But like I said, she just came back from CPAC. So I'll let Sarah share a little bit about her thoughts about how CPAC went and whether some of the women, there's only one woman that I'm aware of that's running for president, has a shot or not, and some of the other folks that she saw that were amazing women there at the CPAC conference. So Sarah, glad that you were able to join us. And if you will share a little bit about how CPAC was and your thoughts around CPAC, since I know that you're over there in sunny California, even though I understand it's been quite wet there as well. So you are now back there and all in that space. So Sarah, if you'll just share a little bit about your trip and all in that way, I would greatly appreciate it.
Oh, hi. Thank you so much for inviting me again. Yeah. And I went to the CPAC from February 28 to March 4, about like 5 days. I attending there. It was so great. So many medias there. Actually, I have a 7 live interview. I had a great opportunity to speak out to our America issues, as well as so many. We have moms. The America, those organizations, women organizations, launching breakfast in the morning with women congresswomen. We are together talk about rather moms, responsibility and opportunity for fight for America, as well as we have great, our President Donald Trump mega groups. I invited a special guest. So we have a small meeting with our President Donald Trump before his speech. The last day at the CPAC, we had a special guest invited. So I met President Donald Trump at CPAC. It's very personal. Only invited press meeting as well as a good speech. Many senatorial, senators, and then as well as Congress men and women join their speech. Our today's many issues we need to solve, make America great again. So it was really great, and especially you just talked about women, power. We have so many, the women is attending there to speak women right, and as well as a woman parents, moms, speaking about the moms. We have a school like CRT is also, woman has the parents is choice. So many spoke to, many things we spoke about. I heard about, and then very conservative voice, very biblical voice. Most candidate they talk about God, talk about America, talk about this country. So very faithful, biblical. They understand biblical value. They understand the conservative values. So it was so great. Yeah.
Appreciate your insight on that. I know one of the things that Steve had brought up earlier, and I think we talked about it on the interview that we had last week, was the nature of equal pay. And I was just wondering if you had any thoughts around that, and if you can just tell folks what you are running for, because I do know that you're running for office there in California. If you'll share what office you're running for, I would greatly appreciate that as well.
I am running for U.S. Senator. This time is my third time running for Congress. First 2020 I learned Congress to District 3rd about Beverly Hills area. And as well as 2022, I run U.S. Senate. And then as well as 2024, I run U.S. Senate as well. So I'm so thankful for all my supporter and voter in 2022. It was a great result, in my elections. I fight for the, business, education, immigration, health, as well as many, many other like issues. Yeah.
Fantastic. Where was CPAC held this year?
Washington D.C. Yeah, Washington D.C. Yeah.
Okay.
Steve, I just have a question. CPAC, the C meaning conservative, is not synonymous with Republicans. Am I correct? Not all Republicans are conservative, and not all conservatives are Republican.
I'm assuming it's just for anyone that's got conservative.
Anyone have any thoughts why DeSantis did not show up?
I think Lee that especially at this stage of the game, that a lot of people would be suggesting that they're going to be strong Republican candidates that are going to be going to CPAC.
Only Trump Republicans?
Well, look, there are Democrats that go, but and you're right, the Conservatives are not represented solely by the Republicans, just like the people of color are not represented solely by Democrats. But I think at the moment that's probably one of the reasons why Ron DeSantis didn't show up. Is that he probably didn't want to make it look like he was making a move just yet, and probably also he doesn't want to get into a pissing contest with Donald Trump right now, which we know is likely to occur because those are the two front runners at the moment.
Did Republican leadership show up? Did Mitch McConnell show up?
Do you think Mitch McConnell would be particularly well? Do you think that he would be particularly well received at CPAC?
Theoretically, he should be. Otherwise, maybe he shouldn't be, where he is.
Well, he's not a conservative.
I don't think that many of the Republican base are particular fans of Mitch McConnell. Fox News talks about him in quite a negative way and has done now for a number of years. So I don't think that it'd be like saying, although he's not particularly he's not particularly high up in the Republican Party, but it's like saying that Dan Worthington's friend Mitt Romney, would he show up to the CPAC? Well, I don't think it's going to get very far.
Maybe the door.
Ms. Lou, just really quickly, who were some of the conservative leaders that you got a chance to speak to? You did mention Donald Trump, and I know that there was others that you had a chance to meet as well. And I know a lot of folks will be surprised, maybe even Shaquille and Dan, that you are running for Senate in a district that is considered historically to be heavily Democratic, because if I remember correctly, you are in the Burbank area of California, if I remember correctly, and all in that space. So it is not exactly a foothold or a stronghold historically of the Republican Party, but I do know that you are running as a Republican candidate.
Okay, I was interviewing the Republican Conservative Caucus, one of the board member. And as well as there is many speakers coming, like not only President Donald Trump. So, we have Mike Pompeo or Nikki Haley, as well as Mike Brown, as well as the Congress Senator, Marsha Blackburn, as well as James Conner, as well as Elisa, Stepan, Ben Carson, as well as Ted Cruz, as well as
Tulsi Gabbard came across as well, didn't she? She delivered quite a good speech that I was watching the other day. I think that was the CPAC.
I think, but I remember, Matt Gaetz as well as Marjorie Taylor. They speak very well in the CPAC, and as well as they are invited. Great America again, Donald Trump, before Donald Trump appears, Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor was speak in front of a special guest. We have Eric Smith, as well as many leaders, many areas, Mark Robinson, as well as Mark Green, as well as Diana Hamburger, and then, Devin, Tom Homan, so many areas they are like enjoy those senatorial and Congress, Brown, Donald, David, Bernard, as well as many most very conservative senator Republican, and as well as the most conservative Republican Congress, as well as many government positions, each areas what who was dealing many issues, secure board, many areas, economic, even so many areas, even they invited many Robert Mullen, Matthew Weicker, so Sarah Ketters. Sarah Ketter was Ketter show host Tom Politicians. Many people. So they invite their voice is very important. It was a great time to many. Kevin Husted also was there. Andrew Cooper, Andrew Cooper was CPAC, CPAC Australia founder director. Andrew Cooper was there. Jack Brower was there too, and Carter Scott there. Jason Lancher there. So many show hosts who was conservative, value and biblical value speak. Gordon Chen was there. Author who is board member. In the CPAC. So many. Reddy O'Connor was there. Also many. The Jim McCarrians. So there's many leaders, almost 100 speakers, 100 attending. So Abby Johnson also like CEO. So many, show hosts, so many senators, so many Congress. Penny Nancy was there also. Peter Lucido there. So many people is there. So Teddy Sculling. Sandy, Royce, Windy, Windy was there. So keep on going. I can talk.
Dr. Sarah?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of the convention? Is there a walkaway that these people have a to-do list when they leave? What's the purpose of why people attend there?
So I think most I'm just attending. I'm not I'm not like the meeting any board member just can.
Fair enough.
Attending. Yeah, I think the meeting is most many senatorial and Congress. They want to speak today's America issues, where America needed to go, right directions, what they talk by talking. Many Biden administrations now is economic weak, as well as the border is not secure, as well as many, the comparable like President, the President Donald Trump comparable. Many speak to they need to go back to America great again, go back to the great America economic growth and job creation, as well as many education, many policies, so many policy was now is not conservative, not biblical value standard. That's why they wanted to speak up to where the America need to go directions, right directions, and then whatever their issue was spotlight what their issues consideration, what they are fighting for, their issue for America. I think there is most there was a Sarah in speak, yeah.
And notably absent was Shaquille Lattimer, Dr. Dan Worthington, and their friends Rachel Maddow and Anderson Cooper.
Man, I tell you, and Nick wasn't there either. Neither was Steve or Mark.
No,
Oh,
we were
wow.
not. We were not
Well,
there.
well,
But Dr. Lou, what are some of the
the Cooper gentleman she talked about was actually the founder of CPAC Australia. So,
California?
this,
We have
so
a
we've
CPAC
actually,
in Australia?
Oh,
so
I
we
did
have a
not- I
CPAC in
joined
Australia.
everyone talk,
Wow, I didn't know
everyone-
that. Okay.
So
See,
can
you
you,
you don't know many things about these things, Nick. It's okay.
No, I don't. I didn't know there was a.
So we have a CPAC in Australia, and I'm quite familiar with them, and we sort of have like an international CPAC to put it in sort of simple terms. So we are sort of reciprocal we have reciprocal agreements with each other because we all around the world tend to have the same sorts of ideas and values.
Right.
Love freedom
I
and
totally
loving
understand
freedom
that.
and-
What happens
Like
is-
freedom, liberty,
I
common
understand
sense, that sort of thing.
Yeah, instead of the crazy
liberals
crap
are
that your party
progressive and
promotes.
conservatives are regressive. I got that.
And Nick,
So, there's nothing wrong with that.
Your party's crazy. Your party's
Well,
crazy.
no,
and you
CPAC
know it.
stands for crazy. It's crazy people
So
acting.
again,
You're
so
not
again,
crazy.
look
You
at
don't
the colourful
understand why you
look at the
support
colourful
us
shirt that
crazy.
I'm wearing, right?
Look at me.
And here and here I am,
And
and here I
Steve,
am
I don't
being
understand
told that
why
I'm
you're
some sort of
crazy.
progressive conservative because your side of politics has lost the bloody plot. You guys have gone mad.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
We're progressive. You're regressive.
And Steve
okay?
is an apologist.
Opposite of
because
progressive. It's
And
regressive.
what Nick
There's nothing wrong with
Nick
it.
exactly?
Back to the
Nick,
Dr.
Nick,
Lou,
Nick,
thank
I'm
you for
all
being
for
on.
progress. What
Because
exactly is it that you'd like to progress us into? Please do say.
Mark,
We
well,
want-
I mean,
we
you
want
kind of
better
just there,
education
right?
for the students. In other words, we want what is taught in school: science, technology, engineering, math, pharmacology, medicine, nursing.
So all the stuff. So hang on. So let me just get this straight. You want all the stuff that the conservatives want taught in school. That's what makes you progressive.
That's what
Yeah, and you know
progressives
what?
want
As a
taught in
Democrat, I
school.
want to say this. I could
You've
live
been
with
listening to
Mitt
Tucker
Romney in the White
Carlson too
House.
much.
How about
Hold on a
President?
second.
Why doesn't
Stay
Mitt
with your
Romney
Fox
run again?
News, buddy. Stay with your
Mitt
Fox
Romney for
News.
president. Why not?
Progressives want
No,
better
because he's an
education,
idiot.
better
He's
jobs
not an idiot.
for their
He's a
people.
smart
Yeah, he's
guy.
corrupt. He corrupted himself. I'm sorry. I can't support Mitt Romney.
I think he's a
Mitt
smart
Romney?
guy.
No,
No, I don't
Same,
think
same.
They have
Same.
no-
I think what Dan would
They
like to
have
say
no
to you as being too
candidate. They're gonna
polite
go
is
for
if you
Trump.
want to pick a bad leader for your team, that's fine, but don't pick a bad leader for the Republicans to match.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
No, I don't
wait a
want
minute.
That's
Trump.
that's what
You guys
Dan was
are
thinking. He
gonna
just didn't
go
want to say it.
Okay,
Guys,
you
have a
guys are
great
going to go
show.
with
Dr.
Trump.
Lou, thank you for being with us, and let's bring her back. I got to run. Thank you all so much. And
Thanks,
continue your
Dave.
conversation about Women's Day, but we'll start that again on Friday. And then also wrap up with some other things around the world, particularly Mexico and Tucker Carlson as well. He's in a bit of hot water. But he'll probably
No, he's not.
Fox is in the hot water, not him.
Fox is in the
It doesn't
house.
look good.
Fox is in
It
the
doesn't
hen
look good. But let me just say I saw some CNN coverage. No, I saw some CNN coverage off this. And it's really interesting to see CNN showing people getting injured and saying, well, how could they possibly say that most of this was pretty peaceful and most of this wasn't out of control? It was only a handful of people. When, look, there's people being injured and the police and look at all the destruction. But yet when it's the other way around and it's CNN reporting on the BLM riots, that was all perfectly okay.
Well, it was
Now,
mostly
I'd like to ask
peaceful.
Dr. Lou a question. I saw a report the other day that the more eastern parts of Oregon, I think it is, are saying we've had enough. We want out. We want to join Idaho. Do you think that some of the eastern parts of California and the northern parts of California, which are very, very red, do you think that they might start making a similar kind of request? But they've been talking about it for a while, breaking up California. Do you think that that those regions of California might say, you know what, we've had enough of being dictated to by the cities?
Can you? I'm so sorry about not clear your question, but
Do you think that the Republican areas of California, the country areas, the eastern parts of California, the northern parts of
Crazy
California,
people or not.
do you think that they might say, we don't want to be part of California anymore, we don't want Sacramento and San Francisco and LA to tell us what to do, so we want to join Nevada, or we want to join, we want to have our own state? Do you think that could happen?
the senatorial. I'm fighting against Diana Feinstein, but she she I think already proclaimed that she does not running for next election because she was old, proud of there I think Democratic candidates, many candidate already announced now is Adams, as well as Katie, as well as many.
Yeah, Bug Eye is going to run for that seat.
Learning for the seat. So I used to living in North California 8 years from 1999 and 2007, as well as 28 years. I'm living almost 28 years living in the South California, altogether. So I know very well in North California people and South California people because I was there I was studying at Berkeley and as well as the learning business, IT business. In North California, very conservative. They are very support. The lady is also. In South California, is more like Democrat, blue, but I think North California, they are very conservative value. They follow, they vote, and as well as many conservative, the candidate as well as conservative already population in South California, total California, I think the vice versa, more like Democratic. Now it's a little blue, most blue than letters or country count, the state in California. I think there is independent, borough also. They are not left or they are not right. They can choose. Their percentage, most 40% is Democrat, like 34% is Republic. There is also about 30 more like percent, something go down. Still independent. There is many. They are not point Republican, but still they know the conservative value and biblical value. Many Christians in California, they are evangelists. They support Donald Trump, as well as 75% evangelists vote for Donald Trump, as well as the Republican candidate in the poll said. I think the Republican, there is an independent voter also. So I think that we can, if we more strong fight for conservative value and biblical value and the Republican identity, like Ronald Reagan, as well as Abraham Lincoln, they fight for the Republic value, conservative biblical value. I think that we need to keep on fight for those value, what they believe, what they stand on, Republican identity. So then one day, I think we never stop fighting. Because if we stop, there is a final result there, but we are going to stop. As I'm a candidate, you're Senate as a Republican, because of why I become Republican, because there are those conservative value, biblical value, because someone who follow, the biblical value, conservative value, I vote for. So I think that we need should fight, keep on fight until what we are desire, American dream.
Dr. Sarah?
Yes.
In your view, do the conservatives play the game? Are they in the fight to the same extent as the liberals are? Who's more effective as politicians?
I don't think so. It depends, the personal who choose or who standpoint, who are liberal or who are conservative, or like what value is what they are believing. I believe conservative. Someone believe a republic.
No, I get all that, and I do also, and I think it's better for the country. But I see time after time, year after year, our conservative values being stripped away from us and from the country. And as a country, we're more leaning left and liberal and less traditional conservative values. Our educational system, the country as a whole.
Yeah, now is the most government power under Democrat. Like example, in school now CRT, critical race theory, as well as less parent choice, as well as they teach racism. there is many place now is even parents, they can choice their boy and girls, their children, they can transgender. So this kind is liberal, liberal politics. They vote for those issues. That's why they're coming. So still we are fight for conservative values, no CRT in school, no racism. Parents has a choice to where their children send, no transgender. So because even liberal politics say that we have a conservative politics fight for those against, because this is, we say conservative value, biblical value, because of Bible God creation boy and girls, God creation equal, no racism, so no critical race is, because we are all equal in front of God. Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Liu,
Right.
just really quickly, your family originally came from South Korea. I know we talked about that the last time and everything, but I'm just wondering, as California is a state that is getting a lot of immigrants, your thoughts around the current immigration policy and what you would like to see done in that immigration policy. Because like I said, I do know that your family came over from South Korea, but are we allowing too many folks over? Are we not allowing, or what is your thoughts around that?
So I think immigrant policy in the one of the very important border secure, because from now Mexican border, when President Donald Trump was administration had border wall was continuously should build that and then secure. Now is Biden administration open border policy make all the American now more like a drug traffic, sexual trafficking over those border. So we should secure border. Any country, they should come to America legally. Have some processing. Everyone coming to America, we take like 5 year, 10 year, even immigration. We have some kind of issues. Like family case, we take 10 years, 20 years. Their brother and sister, their parents, once they die, they get those interview later. That's to take too much time to processing immigration. So we need the first immigration processing. That one we needed to do, as well as the agricultural visa is so shortage. Now we feel during COVID-19, our food chain and supply chain was all the corruption because of less, people working during COVID. We learned that more agricultural visa we need, unskillable visa we need, because so many people, they are like American white people. They are not like clean street or clean the house, or but all the immigration they coming to, they make American people's food table, learning American business first when they coming here. So we need more like find out those value of immigrations, because they without them we cannot really learn more like a business, more like a family, more comfortable. So I think that we need we need fight for value of those immigrations, how contribution this country. Like I am Korean American, I came to here myself. I go for school and 24 hours, 7 days. 40 7 days I am not enough sleeps build my American dreams. So now I open more than 10 business including two non-profit. So immigrations, we are starting empty hands first and coming to America. We are make all the business success, education success. I got 3 doctorate degree. I studied at Harvard 4 years. All those things, American stay strong. That's why give opportunity to those immigration. That's why we can able to do. So we need more like immigration, giving opportunity come to America to, because they are. I like to create America again those stereotypes, but we can. I talked last the last interview said we need all the area needed to create America, not only the white, or we have the older society, white and Asian and black, all the society have the equal opportunity in as immigration, as so we need we have to build those equal opportunity by law and policy. So, but right now it seems like we don't have enough those exercise. Those immigration had a lot of limited. They can exercise there, as well as we have many STEM workers we need at the immigration. So more creation STEM workers, from overseas. The another matter is, many foreign students, they are study hard here, like even from China, they study hard here. They go back to their country. They learn every hour, American, all the intellectual knowledge and technology and science and engineering and all they learn, and they go contributions their country, like even I know my friend who got a PhD and he working hard H-1 5 year and not get a green card, go back to Korea, they contribution Korean. So I think we need more like have a H-1 Coral and as well as easy get the green card who had a skill had obtained from our college university, and we are wasting all our those long-term investing educations. They go back to their country and they serve their country. So I think we need to make more like a green card easily they can obtain. Then now and then more Coral we give more case, like we have only 2 case of immigration. One is a family sponsor, like a wife, husband, or brother, sister. It take long term. Only those wife, husband is very 3 months and then 2 years conditional green card. But most green card they take families 10 year, 20 year is not interview, as well as the case is very postponed right now. So we should fast immigrations processing we need because they waiting for. They are like not example in Korean person they apply green card. They are not they are in Korean, but they are some of they are in here. They are not American, not Korean, like a middle place until waiting for So we needed to make a fast immigration.
Dr. Sarah?
Yes.
I agree with you that the system we have should work much better than it does. But as a sovereign country, should we not have a right to determine who, when, and how many people come into the country?
I think that we have a quota. In Congress they decide these immigration law policy they made. They can exercise more quota. So we need to advocate those in the Congress they can exercise more quota and equal opportunity. Any country they wanted to America, So I think that we should, speak out, our voice to more opportunity to come to from foreign country anywhere, yeah.
Is our immigration law just being ignored? The fact the southern border is open and people are crawling across who are not legal immigrants?
We should not allow it to, illegal immigration. We should stop those illegal, Mexico border. There is many thousand people there are just close. I think myself, my opinion, if I become senator, just not even have a border, just no border, nothing there, then nobody coming. So I think that we need to really legally coming to America. So we have the border secure. So because now it's border not secure, that's why thousand million people is there. As well as the Biden administration, especially President Biden speak to open border, welcome everyone. They are maybe understand or misrepresent or miscommunication. All the world people they thought we can get every those permission to the America, but I'm an immigration consultant, CEO of a legal company, immigration. We do, they take 5 years, 10 years to get a green card, and they have a legal process. We take, I'm not supporting those illegal transaction. There is not only people coming illegal. There is many drug, mafias. They bring to all the drug through those southern border of Mexico. Selling all the drug. Our next generations, they are, effective with those drug addict overdose. Those abstinent. So there is many also, illegal things happening. So we need a really border secure, only allow the illegal, not allowed any illegal activity from those border. We need to legally, come to America. Yeah. Welcome everyone.
I just came from Canada before I came down to the United States, and I saw a rather interesting news article. There was a news report where the guy was flying from Mexico to Canada to visit his mother, but he was previously denied entrance to the United States. There was some sort of mishap in the air, so the plane had to make an emergency landing in the United States, and everybody was given a temporary visa to allow them to go to the hotel and to then come back the next day for their flight, except for him, because he was previously denied. They took his shoes, they took his belt, and they locked him up in immigration detention for the night. And then he had to jump back on the plane and catch a plane up to Canada. And he said, look, I wasn't trying to enter the United States. I wasn't trying to do anything wrong. I think that when you have, and it's not just America, every country, my own countries have the same issue. When you have an immigration policy which tends to favour one group of immigrants over another, you're actually being really divisive, because you'll have a situation where all the other immigrants or all the other non-citizens look at the group that's been favoured and go, well, why did you get it so special? Why was it so easy for you? And we've had to, jump through all these hoops, and we've had to, do things from 10 years and, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's really important that there's some fairness in play with whatever the United States, which is not my country, and what my two countries, Australia and the UK. There's got to be some level of fairness, that everyone's being treated the same.
Hey, speaking of fairness, Shaquille, and I didn't even know about this until recently. It was actually on one of our other shows, Interludes, which airs, I think, partially out of Chicago and partially out of Tennessee, but they've got all kinds of ties around the nation, because the three hosts are definitely involved in coaching and to some degree in media. Val the Voice Johnson, and definitely Coach Womble and Coach Tony, who is the one that I think is in Tennessee, if I'm remembering correctly. But they brought up the recent case of Mississippi, because Mississippi definitely has a lot of problems and a lot of problems in their crime zones, particularly in the city of Jackson. So, there's already got one police force, but because they have this problem, the government of Mississippi, which apparently is Republican led and everything, has decided to set up a second police force. So they have got the Capitol Police, which is doubled in size to almost 120 officers, and expanded its reach into an 8.7 square mile zone of Jackson called the Capitol Complex Improvement Zone. So this is where that particular part of the folks are going to be. And some folks in Jackson are upset because it's not covering all of Jackson. And Jackson definitely has a lot of crime going. So it does seem like it would be like going over there and protecting Nick's part of Raleigh and everything, because that is.
Why is there so much crime there? Why is there so much crime there, Lee? Who's creating all the crime? Do we know?
So like I said, the homicide rate is very high. It's an African-American community. Is actually considered almost like DC, one of the most chocolate cities, and it's about 14 times the national rate in 2021. And they did say that the Jackson Police Department has been understaffed, and they got up to 30,000 calls for service.
Can I just clarify what you're saying, Mark? So you're saying that they want to increase or create this new police service just for Jacksonville, so just for where the capital is. So this police service, there's going to be extra police where all the politicians are. Exactly. And the citizens have said, "What about us?" And the politicians went, whatever. Good luck.
Exactly.
Okay.
You don't get police. You don't want police.
Make America great again.
That's kind of where I was going there. They're protecting a particular.
Well, again, I go back to who's committing the crimes, Mark.
But like
Mark, are we talking about Washington?
Not only that, but
is it predominantly
as we know, and
African
Americans
are committing the crimes?
crimes? But are they?
Well, Dan. Let me say to you that may not necessarily be true. I know
I
that
don't
the
know. That's why
statistics.
I'm asking.
Well, no. Well, the statistics may look that way, but you can skew statistics,
Exactly.
all sorts of ways. So that may not necessarily be true. That it may
I don't
they're
know.
being
Shaquille?
enforced
That's why I
against.
asked the question.
Shaquille, you can skew statistics, but you can't skew video. Why are there politicians who do not want more video released? How can that misrepresent what happened? Why not?
Are you talking?
I
What
don't
are you
get it.
referring to? Are you referring to the Capitol riots on January 6th?
100%, yes. There were
No,
politicians
there
say
weren't any
Mitch
riots.
McConnell, Chuck Schumer. They don't want it released because maybe you're cherry picking. You're misrepresenting what happened. You may show the truth.
Yeah, no, Americans
Well-
have the right to see what happened. Just like they have
Well,
the right
I have to.
Dan, not just Americans. The defendants have a right to see that video.
Oh, sure they do.
Yeah, but the thing is, the media likes to cherry pick.
Show everything then.
I
Yeah.
find it very interestingly when I first started doing this show, it was the middle of COVID. I just came back from the United States to Australia, which I wasn't ever expecting. Nobody was expecting the COVID thing to happen. Nobody was expecting for it to be locked down.
That's not true. That's not true, Skill. There are people who are expecting it.
It's
I
all
wanted to
easy.
organize it.
In any case, so that's when I first started doing the show, and it's been interesting how things have been in the couple of years, 2.5 years, whatever it is, since I've been back. Now, finally, I've come back. Now, I haven't visited as many states as I normally would, but it's really interesting to hear how people around the country, what they say and what their general views are. And one of the things that I forgot how hostile Americans are to this country. I wasn't saying anything political, and I won't tell you where I was, but I'm sure you guys can guess. And I was looking at something that America has that looked really cool. That's not something that we get back home. And I said to a bunch of people, I said, man, this is so cool. I love this country. And oh my God, like immediately I got like 8 people lecturing me about how bad America is. And I'm looking at them going, you're American. Like, what's wrong with you? And honestly, I don't see that anywhere else in the world. There is no other country that I can go to where the people are so divided. They talk about things it's so differently. One person is talking about I like Coke more than I like Pepsi, right? And somebody else is talking about sugar not being very healthy for you, which has nothing to do with the taste comparison between Coke and Pepsi. Like, people are just talking about completely different things. They're talking past each other. But the one thing that really surprises me is that with the notable exception of immigrants to this country, who absolutely adore this country, there's nowhere else in the world that I go to where people have such a negative view of the country. It's my last day here before I leave, and I wish the United States and her people didn't do that, because you're such a fantastic country, and you don't need people like me or Dr. Lou to tell you that. I don't get it. I don't understand why you guys are so dark on your own country. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. Why are you so down on our country?
But it's because I think the problem is too many people listen to Fox News, not realizing it's Fox Entertainment.
It's all Fox News' fault. Again, we're going back to, and you have your CNN.
Because, as we well know,
going back to the original,
you worship Tucker Carlson, lies all the time, and he got off in the very famous case McDougal versus Fox. He got off by saying, well, nobody in their right mind could possibly believe in Tucker Carlson. He's just spewing opinions. Unfortunately, that's not the case. There's a lot of small-minded people, and they do believe in Fox, and they do believe.
Well,
in
the same goes for CNN.
No, but there's bias all over the media,
CNN,
on both sides and everything. But
CNN didn't get sued like Fox gets sued all the time now.
Although CNN is losing
what can I tell you?
Because of the
lie.
So CNN's coverage of the Coventry, CNN's coverage of the Coventry Catholic Boys School, that was perfectly, that was perfectly reasonable. No lies were told there. The Kyle Rittenhouse case, their coverage of that, absolutely fine. No issues there.
Yeah, well, the thing
Well,
is,
Nick didn't have any issues. No.
No, hey, Shaquille,
thing is, if you want
Shaquille,
to
you're
have
gonna
a
love
liar,
this one
it's
from
the
the
Democrats.
organizers there
along
in
with Fox.
Mississippi.
But
One
please do
second.
not ignore Fox in the battle of the
No,
liars.
we're just gonna ignore
Please
Fox, but
do not
just like I'm gonna
ignore
ignore
Well,
you, Nick.
Fox is not the
In the battle of
only.
liars. Yeah, he's in hot
It's
water. Of
it's
course
not
he
the
is.
only
This
Fox
isn't
in
the
the
only time he's
henhouse.
been doing it. He does it
Nick,
all the
I have
time.
to tell you that.
And
Hey,
the problem is,
Shaquille,
But America
you're gonna enjoy
is
this
great.
quote and
America
everything,
is
and
a
Lee
great
might enjoy it
country.
as well.
Despite what you
Because
Democrats
apparently
say, it
Daryl
is a
Holmes,
great
the
country.
organizer out of
It's a
Mississippi,
country that
said that
represents
whole
freedom
state
and
approach,
liberty and the beacon of light throughout
I'm
the
sorry,
world.
Mark. What kind of approach?
that whole approach that the folks were having in the states approach, Daryl Holmes, the organizer there, was saying that it was condescending. He was saying that this is a thing of black folks can't govern, black leaders can't govern. So we'll show you how to run, how to move, how to talk. He said, "Oh, they're trying to be like Shaquille," adding that she thinks that the Capitol Police are more aggressive than the city's officers. So they're saying,
No, what do they have to do with me? Sorry, where
She
did my
didn't
name
say
get thrown
anything.
into this?
No,
I never
I
even been to Mississippi.
I don't know
Well,
why
I'm
you're
teasing
how did
you,
my name get
Shaquille,
thrown into
because
this?
You're the
you're
most
just
famous
put words in my
Boston
mouth.
American.
That's what the teasing back was to you and everything. I was teasing you back.
I just asked a question. I didn't know the answer, and then suddenly I get attacked. And Shaquille gets attacked, and he didn't say anything.
No, like I said, Shaquille sometimes talks about me putting
He's awesome.
puts words in my mouth. So I was teasing him back when I made the quote and everything. So
No, Mark, I wish I could put words in your mouth because I'm a much greater advocate for your position than you are.
well, sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. But hey, Nick, and really quickly, I do want to hear from Dr. Lou as we get ready to get out of here and everything.
We
But,
have so much
Nick,
fun.
you will be
We
glad
do.
to know that I was recently contacted by our most watched show. I'm glad to say that it was one of my interviews, but I had not heard from Oli Damagard, who is a noted conspiracy theorist and everything. But I got a LinkedIn message from him yesterday. So who knows? Maybe he wants a third or fourth interview. But that was one of our early interviews that I think you told me was one of our most watched ones and all in that space. So he recently reached back out to me on LinkedIn. So maybe he's ready to come back and tell some more things about what's going on with COVID and the rest of the things that he talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now that you're allowed to talk about COVID.
Okay.
So before, when I said on our shows back in 2020, I said, look, the information being given by different people in charge of health departments around the world and sometimes state by state can sometimes be contradictory, and that's really confusing. YouTube took us off. Facebook took us off.
By YouTube and Facebook.
Now, all of a sudden, we can actually say that. And we can say actually about the origin of that virus.
They'll still
And people can
Well,
say
it's
whatever
always
they want
been
without
China.
being
We
censored.
always
Isn't
do
that
that.
interesting?
Yep. Well, like I said, it was one of the most watched shows. It's the one that got one of the Pod TV Awards, which we have to get going again in either March or April. I've got producers that are asking, "Where's my award?" So me and Nick will get together and make that happen and everything. Hopefully, either this month or no later than April. I've already promised several of the
I'm not gonna
hosts
be here in
that.
April.
Say what?
I'm not going to be here in April. I'm going to go to Morocco, baby.
Well, that's exactly why they should have it then, so that you're not included.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't need that stuff. But I do want to answer the question that came up earlier in this program: why DeSantis did not show up to CPAC. Let's get real.
I want to
The
hear this.
circus master was there. P.T. Barnum of politics, otherwise known as Trump, was there. The problem is he's a sideshow, and Trump would stomp him. So
Sideshow Bob.
DeSantis realizes he's the sideshow. P.T. Barnum has arrived. P.T. Barnum has arrived, baby. And so DeSantis decided not to show up because he didn't want to get stomped
That wasn't
by
doing
Trump.
any good.
He would be stomped by
Dr. Lou, just really quickly, we're getting ready to
It's
wind
been a
down and
self-employed.
everything. Usually,
Well, I'm
we
gonna
will-
show you some of New York because I don't think it came up very nicely behind me.
Oh, wow.
That's New York.
Skyline.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna
Skyline.
jump or no?
I can show you some water from my bedroom, but I'm in the lounge room at the moment. So,
Where
That's,
are you at? What hotel?
well, I'm not going to say that on air. I'll tell you after I get off the air.
So we can-
Let's just say that I'm very, very close to the United Nations. How about we just say that?
we'll
I'm
send
very,
all the
very close to
liberals
the UN.
CNN after
Folks
you.
will do detective
They're in
work
Atlanta,
now and
yes.
everything. Dr. Lou, before we get on out of here, and we're actually running a few minutes over, but if there's any closing remarks that you want to make to our audience, our global audience and everything, it would be greatly appreciated. And then after that, we'll get on out of here. But definitely it was great having you for a second time on the show. Because like I said, you were a guest on, I believe it was the online dinner party last week and everything. But look forward to definitely having more conversations, and hopefully you'll join us on other times as well. But it was great getting your thoughts around CPAC and other things. But if there are any closing statements that you want to give, we would love to hear those.
Oh yes, thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. So any media, they are talking long, like he said, Tucker always the riots. We have a fairness doctrine. So if you listen someone media talk long, we always go there. You are long. So that is we call like fairness doctrine. We can exercise in this case. Anyway, thank you so much inviting me here, and I continue to fight for Great America again. And anytime, enjoy your show. Thank you so much. And we need a more like fight for the conservative value, biblical value. And then anytime, you need to my service, even informal, formal. We have formal and informal leaders. I'm always open to support the community. Anyone you wanted to go to my website, www.sarahsenator.org, and my platform there. And thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We'll get ready to get on out of here. But this has been another great show. We'll be back with more news and more analysis on tomorrow's show of the World Edition. So we'll be back on Thursday and Friday. But right now, let's get on out of here.